Hello and welcome to the media room video. It is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and I'm still working on the garden. Boringly, I am still sanding the wood and oiling it. However, my dad is up here with little Bourbon, who's currently just like got his lead there because he'd run out the front door and we need the front door open. And they are working here. So we've got the black crystal doors gonna go in here. The electricians are here today to remove all these hanging light switches and the lights. The banister here is going, and we're having our stud work put up because we're having a wall built here, and then it's dividing essentially the main living room and the hallway. And then in here, it's all go. This going, it's so ugly, awful. I mean, I know it's half demolished, but I mean, was it ever pretty? I don't think so. Anyways, Dad's gonna start doing all of that, and then it's basically, and a bit of ceiling correcting, which I'm gonna help out as soon as I finish the sanding, which I'm really bored of saying about. But as soon as that's done, then it is time to fit the bar and sort out the walls. But yeah, time to go.
Nearly got it. Yay! Oh, thank God it's gone. Ew. Yeah. Wow. God. Gone. What's in here? Hi everyone. I'm just cleaning up Daniel's mess because he's left all his stuff out once again, running around after him. It's okay though, he's busy upstairs doing all the stuff we need for the media room, which is obviously very exciting. And I'm gonna go upstairs and show you, is that you? No. A coffee granule, or coffee cup. I'm gonna go upstairs and show you everything that's been going on in the media room.
What's that?
I said, would you like to explain what you've been doing?
So Dad has been doing the plumbing for the radiator. And to do the plumbing for the radiator, we need to take all the floorboards up. And then basically now, we're putting them all back and replacing, because there was actually gaps, there were a lot of gaps.
Yeah, there were a lot of gaps.
So we're just replacing, and then in addition to that, just screwing them down. And then we can't put the plywood down because Reese, the electrician, is here tomorrow. Snap it off.
I don't know. But once he's done, then we can put the plywood down.
Yeah.
So actually, this room is looking a lot bigger now, which is good. A lot bigger than expected. You won't really be able to tell on camera, but
However,
It is a lot bigger.
we're about to start putting units back in here, so...
Oh, are you going to put the units in now?
No, not today. The doors are going to be today. Tomorrow will be, once Reese is here, flooring.
And then units. Plastering.
Good morning. It is like 6 o'clock still, and I need a haircut. But I'm outside Buckingham Palace. This is my sort of morning routine, as many days as I can. Probably today was a bad day. It was so busy on the roads. I woke up at 5:30, got on the road for 5:45. But yeah, no, we're not far from here at all, and it's taken me about half an hour of like on a route as well, so like not a direct route but a bit of a sort of backwards route to get here, via the Houses of Parliament, via Big Ben, which was covered in scaffolding. I wanted to talk about, so here, before we get back to the house and before we get back to the renovation, this is just like a quick, I suppose, like update. I thought it was fitting while I was out cycling to talk about this. So yeah, I cycled across America. I cycled across America about 2 years ago. Some people have asked why I've done it. Some people have asked very consistently throughout my whole time since doing it why I did it. So I suppose the reason is I get fidgety very easily, and there's nothing like sort of like odd about that. I can't just like not do anything, but I like to challenge myself, and if I'm not challenging myself, all I can think about is doing something that is challenging myself, and it's very frustrating, and I get fidgety and I just don't like it. So I cycled across America, then after that I finished university, then we moved to Canada. It's a form of sort of like relaxation for me, so it sort of gets me ready for the day, gets me sort of like prepared, and I can relax, and it's just really nice. But yeah, so when I get home, I'm gonna actually whip out the iPad and I will show some photos from my trip across America, because I had a hell of a time. You know, I got chased by a bear, I stayed with some very lovely people and some very strange people, and I've got all of that and more really, and yeah, see you when I get home. Okay, so sadly my iPad doesn't actually have the photos on them because I bought it for work, so I've not actually uploaded any of this personal stuff on it. So iPhone will have to do, but this is going to give a good representation of everything. So I started off in Yorktown, Virginia, on the East Coast, and I mean it's such a beautiful colonial town, with a great history from the French-American forces essentially pushed the British Army back to Yorktown, and this was essentially one of the ending points of the American Revolution. So very historical, very relevant, and it was where I started. It was here I am, it was the East Coast, and there's the water, the East Coast of America, and then from here I started. I camped in places, I stopped off at as many pubs, bars, restaurants as possible. Some beautiful scenery, beautiful homes. So yeah, so it's essentially the starting part of it was sort of like through Virginia and then Kentucky, which was unbelievably humid, unbelievably hot, and this is on the Blue Ridge, but unbelievably beautiful. And some of the most amazing people I met on the whole trip. Southern hospitality is absolutely amazing. Some of the people that I got to meet and stay with, I stayed with this guy and his little boy. He was so sweet, and I just knocked on people's doors, met them in the pub. Sometimes they'd advertise online if they knew that, because it was a set cycle route, so sometimes they'd advertise that that you can stay here, and I met some fantastic people. I thought this was quite funny. Oldest building in Abingdon, 1779, and that was like a thing, like that was like really old, and I was like, oh my god, that's like quite recent in England. But that was cool. This is entering Kentucky. I stayed in hostels like this, saw the most amazing blue lagoons and all sorts of wonderful scenery, met some people. I think I'm in Missouri now. Yeah. So a lot of it was just like roads like this. So like there was like a lot of roads. So for me at the time, like this was beautiful. But for the purpose of this video, there needs to be, I suppose, some scenery. I stayed in some quite insane places. So this was the living room. Yeah. Interesting people, interesting places, all walks of life. I went to Joplin, where that's the Joplin Memorial, where the tornado hit, and I stayed with a lady there, and she was telling me all about the Joplin tornado, which I thought was, I mean, wow. Wow, I mean, America does get, and I experienced it, every single form of piece of weather or this, that and the other, and climate, and it's insane. Patti LaBelle's sweet potato pie, available in Walmart, must get. It's amazing. I actually ate like one a day for about a week to keep my calories up, and there's about 4,000 calories in each one. So yeah, and this was like just sweat. This was hot. Oh, and I was growing my beard. So you saw me earlier with my baby face, which I do not like my baby face, but I have to shave it off every week for work. But when I can grow my beard, I want my beard back. This was one of the toughest days. So we're coming up to the toughest day. So this was a ski resort normally, but not when I was there. And essentially what I'm doing right now is I'm crossing the Rocky Mountains. I'm crossing the Continental Divide. So in the US, through the Rocky Mountains, they have a Continental Divide whereby rain that falls on the left-hand side of it flows into the Pacific, and rain that falls on the right-hand side flows into the Atlantic eventually. And here it is. I finally passed. I got over it. This was, I know my granddad has this framed, because this was like a really, really important point. 11,000 feet, Continental Divide. I mean, there were people driving up there in cars to then get oxygen like canisters at the top to breathe, and I like cycled it up. There it is. It wasn't the steepest road, as you can see, but it went on for about 70 miles like that. Tough, tough stuff. But then on the other side, on the flip side, it just went straight down for ages. Right, this is the bear that he looks, if I'm honest, he doesn't look very well. This bear chased me. I was cycling, where were we? Durango, potentially. And he was following me from behind, and I basically turned around and like shouted at him, waved my arms and everything. And then he jumped onto this rock, and I thought it was okay to take a photo. Why not? So here we're coming up to one of my favorite parts of the trip. Forest Camp Point in Utah, in Moab, and the scenery around here is just insane. This day, whilst I'd have loved it to have been a sunny day, I was very fortunate that it was cloudy, because it was so hot. So hot. Right. Here we are. This is another framed photo in front of Monument Valley. This shows my bike, the one outside, or the one upstairs, and with my panniers on the back, and panniers or whatever they're called, and my rucksack, just like to easy take off and then take into places. This was what I had. I had my water, which I frequently ran out of, and I had days where I would have the most unbearable shakes, headaches. I wasn't getting enough sugar or water, and yeah, it wasn't great some days. And I actually made a detour to come to this place. Some of my camera, like, videoing is very shaky and very jumpy. But this is Zion National Park, which is, I mean, all of America's national parks, all of the world's national parks are treasures, but this is quite spectacular. Quite spectacular. Then moving through, I mean, I stayed in lots of cool towns, lots of cool places. And then I was approaching Vegas. My mum actually came out and she surprised me. I wasn't expecting her. So my mum came out and she surprised me, and she treated me to a nice hotel and finally a bed that wasn't a camp bed. I think we stayed in the Venetian or something like that. It was just so nice to be able to like get away from hostels, camping, all that sort of stuff. And we just had a really fun time for like 3 days. Then from staying in the Venetian, I went straight to this place, which I actually wouldn't say is too much of a downgrade. It was an experience. I stayed in this like nomad place. Nomad? Is that a nomad? No. They were just like these tents in the middle of nowhere. Just in the middle of nowhere, just these like glamping tents, and then there was a railway that went by every hour without fail. So I literally just spent the next sort of, must have been about a week, just like plowing through it and not stopping, and then bang. So you'll see me a lot on my own because I actually cycled on my own. I had, for a couple of days, like some people that I'd bump into or I joined, or there was something, I don't know, something, I cycled past people and then I joined them, something like that. But for the most part, I did this on my own. I didn't have any experience. I didn't even own a bike. I bought it in Richmond, Virginia. So I flew, got the bike, yeah. So I think my advice would be is like, you know, just go out and do something. Just go out and do something. It doesn't have to be a home renovation. Just do something. It doesn't have to be a cycle across America. Could be, I don't know, anything. That was my cycle trip, and it was the best time of my life and the worst time of my life at the same time. I was in a tornado warning, whereby all the sirens went off and I had to like knock on people's door. I had some really good days and some really bad days, and I think that's sort of a testimony for life. There are some good days and bad days, but at the end of the day, we all get to our destination. We all get through, and you just got to be resilient. Just got to keep that mental resilience and that physical resilience. Okay, so I've just been contacted by the landscape gardener, and the skip has been cancelled for today. Almost a sort of mild blessing in disguise, because now that means that we won't have the chaps here today, so we're going to crack on and see if we can get the fence up fully. I've also inadvertently found myself in the process of going between here and the garden, clearing out the dining room. So, is that going to focus? There we go. So I've started taking out all the stuff that was in there, and just stacking it up outside there for tomorrow, where there's going to be waste collection. The dining room's a really easy one, actually. There's literally just a bit of hardwall plaster to put on, and a bit of skimming, and then that's it. Ready to paint, decorate. Oh, there's the floor. Ready to paint and decorate, like quite an easy job. So just gonna get all that ripped up, transferred all out to the back, and then by the time I've done that, it's probably time for the garden. But we'll have to see. So, here is the start of our fence, or trellis. We've got this whole one side posted up. It's looking really good, absolutely exhausted. So what we did was essentially, we drilled a pilot hole, obviously measured in the post where we were gonna cut the bolts, drilled through the post, cut it out with a spade so the bolt and the nut can get in, or the nut and the washer. And then in the wall, drilled a small pilot hole, sort of in line obviously, and then a big hammer drill went through into the wall. Then, big nut and bolt, and some resin, boom. With a bit of a spirit level, we have some posts. They're not fully perfect just yet. There is some tweaking to do. We still have obviously all the other side to do, and we're getting there. The battens are gonna take the longest though. They all require sanding, and for that whole side of the wall, we calculated it's going to be approximately 100. And with mine and Talia's efforts this morning, we managed to sand 12. And oil. So we have a little while yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We've got a section of trellis up. It was so hot yesterday that we actually took a break, but we're going to continue with it today. Here it is. So essentially what we've done is we've not sanded it and stained it on this side yet, because we're just going to get the orbital sander and just go straight across here, and then oil it and sand it. But this is what it looks like from the other side. I'm pretty sure that's visible. Or just like these. This is what it'll look like, just like these planks here. And the reason for that is because it would have taken absolutely ages to get everything, each individual one, sanded, oiled. And I mean, it was taking me absolutely forever. It was taking me forever, and then we just thought, you know, what would the pros do? And the pros wouldn't be doing it like this. They would probably shove it up here and then organise it from there. So, the plan for today is there's stuff in the media room that needs doing still. We're gonna get on more of this, get more of this up, get it all the way around if possible, or as far as we can. Yeah, we got one section up, and we are currently now deciding, actually, here we go. So put in the comment section what you think we should do here. So originally we were top fixing the fence, meaning that this post would have sat on top. However, because of the wall angle and how it's buckled, how it's not, it wouldn't have worked. So they're now side fixed, and they're side fixed to a certain height. However, here's the three options really, the three options that we have now. Do we batten this all the way down to the bottom, and then therefore lose quite a lot of the white wall, as you can see? Do we leave it where it is right now and then paint these white so they blend into the wall? This is all going to be painted, by the way. Or do we leave them stained, and obviously all of this stuff is going to be filled and sorted? Or do we leave them stained and exposed? But let us know in the comment section what you think we should do with that sort of bottom of the post. We've been not so much racking our brains because we think we know what we're going to do. We think we're going to test out the white paint on one, and then and then if we don't like it, sand it, then stain it again. But we'd be interested to hear what other opinions on what we should do, or whether we should just batten it all the way down. The only thing with that would be we would lose a lot of the white wall, and I really like it, especially when it's going to be all painted. But anyways, I gotta go do some sanding and wallpaper stripping and various other bits and bobs.
Hello, hello.
Dan Talia is back.
Dan Talia is back. Got back from work. Had like 15 minutes, and now here I am again.
15 minutes?
Maybe like 40 minutes. I deserve it. I just did an 8.5-hour shift. Dan has been doing this all day, haven't you?
I have basically.
Oh, don't get that on my Lululemons.
Besides what you can see behind you, this is literally what I've been doing all day.
Hello.
I'll have a scoot past you.
Hello. Oh. 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 Everything is such a mess right now. It's absolutely crazy. He's back tomorrow, I think, the gardener with the skip, and we also got a finish day for the garden, which he says is looking like it's going to be the 2nd of July, which is perfect because that gives us still loads and loads of time during summer to enjoy the garden. And I think we're also getting our garden furniture, or some of our garden furniture, delivered then. Bourbon! The other day these bags were higher, and Bevan actually did manage to get onto this wall, and he was like running along, so we had to grab him before he decided to jump into the neighbour's garden, hence why we've put the trellis up to stop that from happening. But yeah, 2nd of July is finish day, which is great because then we got some of our garden furniture around the beginning of July as well, and yeah, which is great. So hopefully the garden will be able to be used a lot during the summer this year, which is just lovely. And anyway, what else have we done in here? Or what else has Dan done in here today? Do you want to explain?
I took the doors off, which are right there.
Hold on, it's not focusing. There you go. Yep.
I took the doors off, which are right there. And then above those doors was that like piece of stud, I suppose, where the doors. Yeah,
like there was a little bit here, and obviously the doors were here, so he's taken all of that down. Yeah, to reveal. Oh my god, look how bowed the ceiling is.
Yeah,
have you noticed
that's
that?
The only problemo. So that is the only problemo. We can't fix that.
That's just.
It's just bulged.
Having a 100-year-old house.
But I mean, character.
Character, exactly. It's what you just gotta say when you've got a house like we do. It's all about character. It's not a new build. This is very old, and there's gonna be bowed walls and ceilings and all that kind of stuff, so we've just got to roll with the punches and get what we're given. But I quite like it.
People, I mean, I like it too. Some people completely take apart the whole house back to the bare bones.
Yeah, literally, but I don't want to do that. I want to be able to look at that wall and be like, oh, the reason it's like that is because, or the ceiling in this case, is because it's 170 years old? 80? Almost 200 years old, basically.
Pretty old.
Pretty old. But yeah, so he's taken all this off. I'll show you again so you can see better.
Look at the boy.
Oh my god, Bourbon! You're so comfy! You sunbathing? Are you sunbathing? Grizzly. Hello, boy. Bourbon seems to have this ability to make himself a little bed wherever he is. Even in the absolute state of the garden right now, he has been finding himself little beds, hasn't he?
He's been lying in the dust.
He's been lying in the dust. But for some reason it's, yeah, panting literally in like a beaming sun. Like yesterday, I think it was like 28 degrees in London, and he was lying in the dust, like beaming sun.
And for our American friends, that is, what is that, 100? No.
I have absolutely
90s in the 90s?
I have no idea. I have no idea how to convert it into Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is in the US, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got Celsius. No idea what the conversion is. Oh my god, he's so cute. But anyway.
Fun fact, a lot of people in the US think that we use kilometers over here, but we don't.
We use miles.
We use miles.
We do.
Just like they do.
But anyway, so we've removed all this and we're actually going to leave this open because we just wanted it to be more open plan down here with the kitchen in there and everything. Obviously this is going to be the dining room at some point, so we just wanted it to be a bit more open plan on the bottom floor. We decided obviously not to do a side return, and if we had done a side return, this whole this wall wouldn't have been here and stuff. But what we did want is we wanted to keep we wanted to make a WC down here, and we wouldn't have been able to do that if we had a side return. So instead we just decided to take down these doors, take down that little piece of wall up there, and now it's a little bit more open plan, a little bit more flowy, which is really nice. But yeah, don't look in the kitchen because it's an absolute state. But yeah, that's about it, isn't it? Dan's covered in oil.
I know, like every girl at university who has like a nightmare with fake tan.
Covered in oil. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I decided yesterday to get out my suitcase full of my summer clothes, and it is exploded in the bedroom right now, so I need to go and finish swapping out my winter stuff and my summer stuff. Otherwise our bedroom is just going to be a complete bomb site.
And I'm going to get more and more angry.
Dan's going to get more and more angry. So we're off. I'm off to do that. You're going to continue staining wood.
But in other news, because so much stuff is happening in the house right now, we are actually going to try and do an upload every day next week, potentially. I have like commitments on like a Tuesday and stuff, but for the most part I'm going to try and do one every day, because we're just recording all this stuff and all this content, and it's like just jam-packed in like this video, and it would be better if we just like did it on every day, so then you can see like genuinely what we're doing on a daily basis. So like me getting up and working hard, and Talia staying in bed till 10.
That doesn't happen anymore because Talia has work at 5:45 every morning.
But not next week.
Not next week. Next week I have a pretty chilled one, so
That's why we're doing the videoing
every
there.
day. Yeah. See you next week.
Next week. Please like, please subscribe.
Please like, please subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at the Bleu House, and
Bye.
yeah. See you next week. Ciao.